The crowd gathered before sunrise, their whispers slicing through the cold air like blades. Something unusual was about to happen, something people would talk about for years. A man was going to be auctioned. Not a criminal. Not exactly a slave. Something in between. Something no one truly understood. At the center of the dusty square stood a rough wooden platform. People crowded around it, some curious, some excited, some uneasy. They didn't come for justice. They came for spectacle. Then the chains were heard. Clink, clink, clink. 2 guards dragged him forward, but it was obvious they weren't controlling him. He walked on his own terms. He was massive. Broad shoulders. Torn coat. Thick beard. Wild hair. A man shaped by the mountains. But the moment that froze the crowd was the baby in his arms. Wrapped in worn cloth, sleeping peacefully against his chest. The contrast was almost unreal. A beast of a man, holding life so gently. "Step forward," the auctioneer shouted. The man didn't react. The guards forced him onto the platform. "Ladies and gentlemen," the auctioneer announced loudly, masking discomfort with excitement. "A rare opportunity. A mountain man, strong, silent, and dangerous." Murmurs spread quickly. "They say he fought wolves. They say he lived alone for years. They say he doesn't even speak. And," the auctioneer added with a mocking grin, "he comes with a bonus." He pointed at the baby. Some laughed. But others shifted uncomfortably. Starting bid. 100. Silence. People hesitated. This didn't feel right. Then slowly. 100, someone called. 150. 200. The numbers climbed, but without enthusiasm. The man stood still. Unshaken. Only adjusting the baby slightly to shield her from the cold wind. No fear. No begging. Just quiet defiance. Then. "Stop." A voice cut through everything. Not loud. But powerful enough to silence the crowd. A woman stepped forward. Pregnant. Pale. But fearless. "Stop this," she said again. The auctioneer frowned. "If you're not bidding. I am." The crowd stirred. She walked closer, locking eyes with the man. And for the first time. He looked back. Something shifted between them. Something unspoken. "I'll take him," she said firmly. The crowd gasped. "You?" the auctioneer scoffed. "What would you even do with him?" She didn't look away. "Give him a chance." Silence fell. 200, she added. No one countered. "Sold." The gavel struck. Just like that. Everything changed. The chains were unlocked. The man didn't move. The woman stepped onto the platform. Up close, she looked fragile. But her voice was steady. "What's your name?" A long pause. Then. "Elias." The crowd gasped. He spoke. "I'm Sarah," she replied softly. The baby stirred. Elias instinctively rocked her. Sarah noticed. "You don't belong here," she whispered. Elias said nothing. But instead of resisting, he stepped down. And followed her. Not as a prisoner. But by choice. The road out of town was long and quiet. Sarah walked slowly, one hand on her belly. Elias followed behind, holding the baby carefully. After a while. "Why?" he asked. His voice was rough, like it hadn't been used in years. Sarah didn't turn. "Because no one else would." "That's not a reason." She stopped. Looked at him. "It is for me." A pause. Then softly. I know what it feels like to be left with nothing. Elias didn't respond. But something in his expression changed. By sunset, they reached a small cabin near the forest. Home, Sarah said. Inside, it was simple, but warm. Safe. Elias sat carefully, like he didn't trust the world not to break beneath him. The baby started crying. Sarah stepped closer. May I? He hesitated. Then nodded. She took the child. And instantly, the baby calmed. Elias watched closely. You're good with her, Sarah said. Her. She smiled faintly. She's a girl. Elias looked at the baby differently now. Not just something he saved. Someone. She needs a name, Sarah said. Elias frowned. I never named her. You found her, didn't you? A pause. In the snow. Alone. Sarah's breath caught. And you kept her alive. Silence confirmed it. She looked at the baby. Then said softly. Hope. Elias repeated it slowly. Hope. For the first time. His face softened. But peace didn't last. 3 days later. Horses thundered toward the cabin. Elias heard them first. Instantly alert. Inside, he said sharply. Sarah obeyed. Men surrounded the cabin. The same ones from the auction. You didn't think we'd let you go, did you? The leader sneered. Elias stepped outside. Closing the door behind him. You belong to us. Elias's voice was calm. I don't belong to anyone. They laughed. Then attacked. What followed wasn't a fight. It was survival. Elias moved like a storm. Fast. Precise. Unstoppable. Years of isolation, of pain, of silence. Unleashed. One by one, the men fell. Defeated. Broken. The leader staggered back, shaking. You're a monster. Elias stepped closer. Then glanced at the cabin. At Sarah. At Hope. No, he said quietly. I'm a man, with something to protect. The men fled. Silence returned. Elias stood still, breathing heavily. Then turned back. Opened the door. Inside. Sarah looked at him. Not with fear. But understanding. You stayed, she said. Elias looked at her. At the baby. At the life forming in that small cabin. I chose to. And in that moment. The man who once belonged nowhere. Finally had something he never knew he needed. A place. A family. A reason to stay.